We're going to be hearing a lot about this. You're going to be hearing the phrase in this campaign season from for high offices and low, laser focused. I'm sick of it already. Laser focused. What does that mean? Well, I've actually worked with lasers in my science class, and lasers just mean all the light is focused on the same frequency. So you have a tight beam of light that doesn't have any disbursement like you have with when there's dust in the room and you can see the sunlight is dispersed. Same thing happens in rainbows. So in other words, it's not distracted. It's hard to fragment it. It's focused. And so that's why we use the term in a modern way. But Jesus is saying to this woman, don't distract me. I've got a holy, sacred purpose, and I was sent here in the little bit of time that I have on this earth, in my public ministry, to get these things done. I don't have time to run after every needy person's problems. When I'm ready, people will come to me that have needs. And they did, right? In villages and cities and towns, out in the countryside. They followed him in throngs. Why should he stop for her? Around them, I'm sure at that moment, were tens of thousands of people. Every single one of them needed help. Every single one. Because you had the haves, and that was the king and the emperor's class. And you had the have-nots, which was everybody else. So why should he stop for her? He's on his mission. Now, he couldn't ride in a bulletproof motorcade like they do now. But people with great power today could be likened to maybe Bill Gates. Bill Gates, who grew up in the Seattle area and established his company in the Seattle area, and Seattle is known for bicycling. I mean to work, to play, to get around. They were the ones that started the buses with the racks on the front to carry your bike. So imagine Bill Gates, after he made his first million of his billions and billions and billions, the first time he got notoriety, the first million that he made, the hardest one, by the way, he rides a bike to work. And by then the word is out. That young guy over in that neighborhood over there, a couple neighborhoods over, he's a millionaire. You know, so-and-so's daughter, so-and-so's son, used to date him, all that kind of stuff. And should come out of the woodwork. Every needy person, everybody that needs a couple pennies to rub together, have to accidentally run into him at the grocery store. Or where he fills up his tires on his bike. Or the guy that gasses up his car has to have an impromptu conversation. Everybody's needy. Why should he start handing money out just because he's the first accessible millionaire that they know? So it'd be like him making his way to work and somebody coming up to him and saying, Bill Gates, millionaire, give me money. Bill Gates, millionaire, give me money. And he just keeps on walking. Because if he were to stop, he wouldn't be a millionaire anymore. If he stopped for everybody and just say, well, 20,000 would be good. But if you can afford 10, I'll take it. And if he just gave that person a couple thousand, and then the next person, then the word will get out that he's handing out money like candy on Halloween, forget it. You'd never see Microsoft. He never would be a billionaire. So why, when he is focused on establishing his company, think of this. He could have the same conversation that Jesus had with this woman. Why should I take my money from my company, which is just starting, and the money that I'm hoping to raise my kids with, and give it to you? Isn't that what Jesus said pretty much? I am sent here on a mission. Why should I take my time and my ministry and give it to you? It's like the difference between a dog begging for food at the table and the children at the table. Who is most important to the patriarch? Well, that may say something. But for most people, it would have been the children, right? So Jesus made that comparison about the mission of those who he's sent to and the mission of those who want something from him. That's a completely different thing. Jesus has his mission, and there are people that put their expectations on you. Same exact thing happens today. 21st century, St. Martin's, here. People think, and I know this because I have conversations with them sometimes, oh, let me see, it's after hours, the church parking lot is closed. We can go do fireworks over there. We don't have to ask anybody. The church is here to give away their stuff anyway. It's open church. They want to serve the community. I want fireworks. So why don't I just go on the church property and do fireworks? What's the big deal? Well, that's a different response. But I'm saying, like, what are we about as church? Are we here to be used by the community for their convenience? Like some open door community center. Well, give us to this for free. Why do you charge rent for our school? Why do you charge money for the chicken dinners? I don't understand. Aren't you supposed to be serving us? And isn't this kind of the attitude of the lady and maybe many of the people that approached Jesus in his day? I've got my agenda on you. I don't care about your agenda. But Jesus is unlike the church in so many situations. Jesus knows his agenda, his values, his priorities. And so he's not confused by all the distractions, hundreds of them probably in a day. He has to stay focused, right? Guess what, St. Martin's? Same thing for us. You must stay focused in the days ahead. You're not all about everyone else's expectations. You are God's hands and feet and hearts and wallets on this earth, in this place. What you do matters. If someone tries, or some organization or the city or anyone tries to tell you what you should be about, you shouldn't say, I got to go home and think about that. You should be as clear as Jesus, saying, no, I'm heading this way. I know what I'm about. I know what my priorities are. Do not distract me. Do we do that very often? So often we bring the world's agenda into our agenda, unscreened, unprayed about, pressed against God's wisdom, and then we feel like, they made me feel so guilty. Shouldn't we do something? Let's give them $500, the Boy Scouts or whoever started pointing fingers at us. And we should be like Jesus. Look, I know what I'm about. But since this woman showed such great humility, think about that. She accepted immediately, not in a manipulative way. She accepted the comparison with a lower person, a lower creature, immediately, because she had trust in Jesus. Now imagine someone having trust in the church's ministry and our discernment and our good heart and our harmony with God to say, look, my son needs a surgery. I don't expect the church to fix everything for him, but will you come and pray for him? And if there's anything you can do financially, I'd appreciate it. That's different than coming up and saying, I need $5,000 for my son's surgery. Aren't they supposed to help people? My son's going to die. Give me my money. Now, which person are you more likely to help? Well, Jesus instantly knew that the humble person is the person worth God's time. Because the other person is merely manipulating for their own selfish gain. No matter how good their intentions are, they're manipulating God. And everybody needs stuff from God. Everybody. Even the atheists sometimes recognize that they need something from people that worship God and from God, or what they call luck or fate or fortune or whatever. So everybody calls upon God. And through God calls on us. And we have to be able to discern what's worth our time, energy, talent, and money. And we shouldn't be confused about this. We should know what our mission is. Jesus helped this woman because she had great faith. Didn't he say she had great faith, right? But what is faith? If you could replace two words for the one word faith in the 21st century, we might be able to understand it a little better. The word faith often is the equivalent for a trusting relationship. Woman, you have great trust in our relationship. It'll be done according to your will. So often we think faith is a collection of ideas that we keep in the back of our head like a Nicene Creed or something, and then, well, I believe in that stuff. I say it every Sunday. I guess I have faith. No. Faith is a relationship, and relationships evolve. But they start on trust. You're getting ready to start a new relationship with your rector. You're going to be disappointed. The reason is because you have your own expectations, whether you're conscious of them or not. Oh, Father King always did this. Father Tom did this. Father Chris did this. Yeah, and probably some priest from before Father King. And maybe some priest from some other church that you came from, or a neighboring priest in Niagara Falls or Tonawanda. My point is, be aware of your own personal agenda. It's going to get in the way, and Jesus should ignore it when it's your own selfish impulses. But if your impulses are parallel to God's work and mission, then God will listen to you. If you're humble and not think that your favorite priest from 40 years ago is the way all priests should be. There's a saying in Episcopal seminaries, I didn't go to an Episcopal seminary, there's a saying that the white collar is a projection screen that all people project onto their problems or their expectations. And they never see the person above the screen. When you enter into this new relationship, you're going to enter into it in trust. And when you get disappointed, that doesn't mean your trust is disappointed. It may most probably mean your expectations have disappointed you. See, Jesus was testing her expectations. Read through it again. Woman, I've got a mission. Oh, if you got a mission, I'm going home. He tested her every step, and in every step she gave an authentic, personal answer to who Jesus is to her. Remember, she's a Canaanite woman. She has no relation to the Jewish faith other than you don't touch me, you don't talk to me, and I don't talk to you. You don't worship like me, I don't worship like you. You're going to hell, I'm going to hell. That's the only relationship. And she picked up on some phrase that she probably heard somebody in the crowd say, Lord, Son of David, have a good day. You know, whatever she heard, she went with it because she's an outsider. She started to assail him with a compliment in order to manipulate him. But when Jesus engaged her, she gave authentic, humble responses. And we got to remember that when we take our problems to prayer in the days to come, in this new relationship, in this new phase in the St. Martin's life, you've got to take your expectations to prayer and give an authentic answer. Don't try to manipulate. Don't try to politic. Don't try to pity party. Don't try to hide your agenda. Be humble. Be authentic. Check yourself. Isn't that a hockey term? Right? When you check somebody else, what do? Well, you put them back in their place. Right? They're coming towards you. You send them back towards where they came, right? Or into a wall. But checking is also an expression in the English culture. And it doesn't come from hockey. It means literally, get your list out of all the problems and shortcomings that you know you have and start checking them. Did this come up during this conversation? Is this a problem with your feelings towards that person? Is this why you reacted to the secretary, to the priest that way? Check yourself. That's where the original expression comes from. So see how humbling that is? But see what great things can come from that. God blesses those who are in reality with Him. They know their place. And they're humble about whatever God gives them. Not expecting that God should give me something because my life's been so tough. It's time for me to get a blessing. You know, God can have mercy on you, as ignorant as we can be in situations like that. But He prefers what we saw today. We all want to be blessed. Let's not manipulate. Let's be authentic. Let's be humble. Amen.